Vikramjit Singh Sahni, who's a member of Board of Trade nominated by Commerce Ministry, and he's also chairman to Sun Foundation, and Ajay Sahai, Director General and CEO at Federation of Indian Exporters Organization. Now, in this special show, we are here to assess what are the challenges that the industry is looking at that needs to be eased before sovereign goes ahead to sign some of the future trade agreements. Gentlemen, a very warm welcome to all of you. Since India's approach to free trade agreements is now changing fundamentally and significantly from look east policy to engagement with developed countries like UK, US, which account for almost 17% of India's exports, and others like Australia, GCC countries, what do you think are the challenges that the Indian government must keep in mind so that the future FTAs are in the favor of the industry and can help India achieve the healthy international trade numbers?
First, at the outset, I must say that I agree with Mr. Dimri that I think with lot of groupings already in place like Quad, G20, BRICS, SCO, BIMSTEC as a new avatar of SARC. So FTAs, we have to go ahead with FTAs because I was also looking at we all know that India ASEAN FTA, India Sri Lanka FTA, or whatever we have done with the look east or act east policy have not helped the Indian exports to grow. This has been the main criticism or critical analysis of FTA. But having said that, I think if it is good to be done, it will be productive for us to do with countries like UK, European Union, UAE, as Commerce Minister have said, and we were there. Mr. Sahai was also there 15 days back with the Honorable Commerce Minister in Dubai, and also the South Africa or a South Africa Custom Union. I think if we are able to include and extend this to the services part, number one, we take care strictly compliance on the certificate of origin. That means no third country, non-member country should not take advantage of these FTAs. That means goods must originate from those. I know this is a value addition norm of 30%, 35%. But it is easier said than done. We must comply with it to that it is not misused. And we must address the non-tariff barriers which these countries put. We have early harvest. There's no harm in signing FTA, but it must include services, the certificate of origin, the local content. It should not be misused. It should be complied, and NTBs, because there's no point of having an FTA and then for example, the Middle East, now we have problem in our agri products, or until we do, they sometimes say the pesticide content is more, or any sort of NTB, or until and unless we harmonize the standards of our products. So to really unleash the potential of FTA, I think these four precautions are essential.
Considering that the companies are now exploring increased value addition and manufacturing in India to address the uncertainty, especially towards the international supply chain, what do you think are the key issues when it comes to, especially on the side of the customs, the taxes? What should be in the mind of the government first to ease these issues, to be precise, when it comes to India towards India? What about you, Mr. Sahni? You being one of the key industry members, also member of Board of Trade, what do you think are the issues on the taxation side? Because as Mr. Sahai was pointing out, UAE is a free port, so they get advantage over there. Their industry gets an advantage, but for India, that becomes a losing end. So, what are the areas that you think that India can adopt to make Indian industry gain?
Mr. Sahai will agree with me that already our competing countries, our neighboring countries, whether you take Bangladesh, Vietnam, Taiwan, these countries have already some sort of preferential trade agreement, if not FTA, or PTA with our markets. So where we have seen in case of garments, in case of leather, in case of our traditional exports, our exports have suffered because these our competing countries, mostly in our neighborhood or wherever they have advantage of the labor or other things, Indian exports are not able to compete. So we will have to move ahead with some sort of preferential trade agreement or with FTA with all the precautions. Now, point number two is on the taxation, what has been said. But I think if we open this thing to the services sector, and also it will not only open the trade and services, it will also open a whole lot of services with the Indian skilled labor, with in fintech, in so many other health sector, and also it will remove the restrictions on the data protection and other which these countries have. So for example, on medical transcription or other, that lot of IT jobs can be created in India if we have a strategic economic partnership. And lastly, as Mr. Dimri was saying, that with productivity linked incentive scheme announced by the government, I think our industry will, if we have uh, a larger market like European Union, a big market like UK, or considerably large UAE, potential is there where our products can compete with our competitors. Then PLI can help to increase the production, productivity, and lower the cost of production. So, on the whole, it is not a bad concept, but as I earlier said, we must use it with a precaution to ensure that it helps our exporters, it helps bringing investment to India in the industry, joint ventures, and include the services sector. Thank you.
Just coming to the close to Mr. Sani, last question to you. Given the perspective that Mr. Sahai has said that we need to look at quality manufacturing, also looking at new age areas where PLI schemes have been announced, uh, what do you think will be the top two suggestions by you on these areas?
No, I agree. I totally agree with Mr. Sahai. I only want to add that we have to focus that FTA bring a quantum jump in our exports. There can't be two opinions by addressing those issues. One issue is which we can add up to the initial my points of NTB, certificate of origin services, is the sensitive list. Now we are starting with early harvest list with EU, which is a good point. We can, have a flavor of it. We need to slowly go to, even with Africa, we have suggested to the government that instead of straight away going to free trade agreement, we should go to the preferential trade agreement, and we should carefully carve out a sensitive list or exclusion list so that are certain items, the sensitive items of the Indian industry, Indian exporters, or Indian manufacturers per se, are not hit by the competitive imports. But on the other side, I think with the proper precautions, it should help India to grow, because I want to reiterate that all our competing countries are already enjoying one thing or else these benefits. So it should help, and it should also help our services sector. It should also help the Indian manufacturers to get capital goods, because a lot of capital goods we import also, maybe for PLI. So maybe it will also help, because if duty is lowered, our capital goods should also become more competitive.
Many thanks for joining us on this edition. We are just now closing this discussion. So many thanks. And yes, as we heard, that future PLI schemes can be a boost to the upcoming FTAs, provided the cushion that the government can provide, especially on the taxation side. Back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.